The month of July is just a few days away, and that means it is commit watch for the Georgia Bulldogs, who have a number of different targets who are set to announce their commitment in the coming days. Of course, that's what this video is all about. I think Georgia is going to get some very good news, and a lot of it sooner than later. Of course, July 1st is on Friday, and that's when Daniel Harris, four-star cornerback from the Miami area, is set to make his announcement. It's down to Georgia, Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State. And I've said for a while, if you've been watching these videos, if you've been on Dog Post, you know how I feel about this. I think Georgia's led for weeks, probably a few months now, ever since Georgia offered, I believe in February. I thought they were the team to beat due to his relationship with Fran Brown, who offered him back when he was at Rutgers. So those guys have been tight for a while now. And when Georgia offered, before any of the other big schools really offered, I thought they might be the team to beat. And I expect Georgia to land his commitment on Friday, giving them three cornerbacks, three of the best cornerbacks really in the country, in Justin Rhett, AJ Harris, a 5-star, and Daniel Harris, a 4-star, long, athletic, who can run. There's a reason other major programs offered after Georgia, but I think they're going to land his commitment. Another guy who I think could be close to making the decision is Tyler Williams, 4-star wide receiver. If you've been on Dog Post earlier this month, I wrote a whole story about how I think Georgia leads for him out of Lakeland, Florida. 6'3", almost 6'4", 180 pounds, 185 pounds maybe. Former quarterback turned wide receiver, basketball star. Dude can jump and catch the football and make a lot of plays. He is set to announce a big announcement that he said Friday at noon. If that's a commitment, I do think that it is going to be Georgia who lands his commitment over schools like Clemson, Texas A&M, and South Carolina. He's taken official visits to Texas A&M and South Carolina since his official visit to Georgia. But like a few other guys, they take official visits and they say, you know what? This place isn't Athens. This isn't Kirby Smart coaching here. I want to go play for the reigning national championship Georgia Bulldogs. And I think Tyler Williams, if his announcement that he's making on Friday is a commitment, I think Georgia is going to be the team to beat there. And he is high on Brian McClendon's board. This would be a major, major pull for the Bulldogs to land one of the best wide receivers on top of their board and across the South. So big decision there. Sadar Mitchell, massive defensive tackle out of New Jersey, 6'5", 330 plus pounds. He just told me a few minutes ago, actually, before I started this video, that he's going to make a decision, or he's shooting for a commitment on July 3rd. I think this is going to come down to Georgia, Texas, Texas A&M, and I think Miami is the other school involved here. He took his official visit to Georgia in May, so he's seen those other three schools since his time in Athens. But I knew after his official visit to Georgia that they were sitting in a really, really good spot, and it was up to the other schools to, get to Georgia's level and, possibly pass them on his list. So if he's still as high on Georgia as I think he is, and as high on Georgia as he was after that official visit at the end of May, I think Georgia has a very good chance to land his commitment. They need big, strong, powerful defensive tackles, guys in the middle of the trenches, and those are the guys that they're going after for. So if they can land Sadar Mitchell and Jamal Jarrett, you've got two extremely strong, powerful nose guard types who can eat up, space in the middle of the trenches, take on double teams, leave room for the linebackers that, again, I'm talking about one in a second, to roam free and make tackles. That's what they did. That's what made Georgia so great last year with guys like, of course, Jordan Davis and Devonta White. Not only did they, wreak havoc in the backfield, but they took on double teams, and they made it easier for the linebackers behind them. So if Georgia, I think Georgia leads for Jamal Jarrett and have for a while now. And he's a guy who can absolutely do that, line up over the center or inside of the guard's shoulder there and take on double teams and just wreak havoc. And Sadar Mitchell is a guy who can do that as well. If they land both of those guys, then I think in a few years you could see Georgia's defense be as good, maybe not as good, but close to as good as we saw them last season in 2021, because those guys in the middle of the trenches, holding their spot and making it easier for everyone else. So they're building a defense for the future like the one they had last year, and a lot of it, could be that good if they land Troy Bowles, who is the son of Todd Bowles, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one of the top linebacker prospects in the country. I think he's ranked the number 2 linebacker in America. 6'1", 205, can run, will strike you. He's got great instincts. He can get sideline to sideline. He can also get after the quarterback. He had 6 quarterback sacks last season, over 100 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions. he's really a guy who can do a little bit of everything, and there's a reason why he's one of the best in the country. They already have CJ Allen on board, guy 215, 220 pounds who can run like a deer, and Troy Bowles is that same type of guy, just a tackling machine, knows where he's supposed to be at all times, instinctive, can sniff out a play before it gets going. I think Georgia leads for him, and he's another guy who I think could make a decision very soon, within the next week, possibly. Now, he's taken a recent official visit to Ohio State, but I think the Buckeyes are a little behind Georgia right now. If he were to make a decision anytime soon, tomorrow, later this week, or maybe even next week, I like Georgia's chances for Troy Bowles out of Florida. I forgot exactly what high school he's at, Fort Jessup, something like that. I'm pretty sure I just blanked on that high school, but they have a lot of guys committing, and I think Georgia sits in a really good spot for a lot of the guys who do plan to make decisions soon. Jamal Jarrett, I think, is July 16th, so still a couple, 2 to 3 weeks away before he makes a decision. I think that's down to Georgia and North Carolina, even though Auburn is in his top 3. Dude's not going to Auburn. Caleb Downs is an August type of guy. I think Janelle Aguaro, 5-star safety, is going to make his decision at the end of July. I think Georgia's in an excellent spot there, coming off recent visits to Florida and Miami, I believe. So there's still a few schools in the mix, but I like where Georgia sits with him. I think Caleb Downs is probably trending elsewhere at the 5-star out of Mill Creek High School, #1 player in the state of Georgia, in my opinion. I think Justice Haynes, 4-star running back, who now plays at Buford. I think he'll make a decision at some point this summer, maybe next month in July. We'll have to see how that goes. So there's a few guys. I think Hiken Williams, another, highly ranked 4-star wide receiver from Florida. I think that's down to Georgia and Texas A&M. Don't know if he has a set timetable for a decision right now, but if he were to commit anytime soon, I think Georgia is probably the team that he would commit to over Texas A&M. So plenty of guys popping. Again, if you've been watching these videos, you know that July was going to be big for commitments. June was big for visits. That's when guys across the country made their official visits all month, really, and Georgia had a lot of their guys on campus, and they earned some silent commitments not only recently but in early June as well. So we've had stories ready just to be sure if one of these guys did make a decision, we were on top of it. And they got 4 commitments in June. A couple of them were guys who I thought were going to make announcements in July, like AJ Harris, 5-star cornerback, and CJ Allen, who originally had plans to commit July 9th. Of course, after visiting Tennessee, he said, "No way, I'm not playing here when I have a chance to play for the Bulldogs." And he committed a day after his official visit to Tennessee, which was really funny in my eyes. But Troy Bowles, linebacker, doesn't have a set timetable for a commit, but I think one could come soon. But as far as the other guys, I think Tyler Williams could go Friday. If that's not a commitment, his announcement that he's making Friday, if that's not a commitment, I think it's probably a top 3. Either way, I think Georgia is the team to beat for him. But Daniel Harris is a guy who is set to make his decision on July 1st. So I think Georgia is going to start the month off with a bang and get an early commitment. So they might get 2 commitments on Friday, could get another one, I believe, on Sunday is the 3rd. I hope no one commits on the 4th of July because I've got plans by the pool with family and maybe some adult type of beverages. So hopefully we can figure out if anyone is committing on the 4th, and we'll have those videos and stories ready for you. But right now it looks like Georgia could have a really big early month of July. And if some of these targets decide they want to commit in July later in the month, I think Georgia is sitting in an excellent position with some of their big targets there. So that's what I've figured out recently. And of course, all this is written down over on DAWGSTRUCTION. So make sure you go check that out. There's a big story on the website already. So if you want details, who these guys are, how good they are, make sure to head over to DAWGSTRUCTION and read all about it. Guys, thanks for watching this video. As always, stay tuned to the next one coming up right now, and I will see you over on DAWGSTRUCTION.